Hi and welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to compare all of those three speakers here. All of them are pretty interesting. First we have the Harman Kardon Go+Play, which currently goes for about $250 to $300. The brand new JBL Boombox, which is really pricey at $450. And the Aiwa Exos 9, which is considered as one of the best budget speakers you can currently buy, which also goes for about $250 to also $300. And yeah, many people cannot decide. There are many different opinions on the internet. I already did comparisons between all of them. And many people actually, I don't know, really like the Harman Kardon Go+Play. I also like it. It has a pretty nice sound signature and really isn't that expensive. But I also really like the JBL Boombox here because I just love the bass of it. Again, treble is a little bit too boosted and it could sound a bit more natural, especially in the indoor mode. But I still really like it for modern music. And I also have the Aiwa Exos 9 here. Many people still like it, although I wouldn't quite choose it for normal volume listening. I mean, there are better options like the Go+Play or the JBL Boombox, which in my opinion sound better on normal levels for almost any kind of music. Just if you want to have a really loud speaker which sounds very nice and good for party and on max volume, the Aiwa probably is the one for you. And today I'm going to check those out in this kind of, I don't know, echo-free room here. I usually do my reviews in my room, which is a normal living room with a bed in, many furnitures, some cupboard, and also some acoustic foam on the walls to make the sound just a little bit better. But I also do not want to make it a full studio, because I still want to give you a realistic sound impression, because your room probably is not full of acoustic foam. So if my room is a real studio, you won't get the sound which you would get in your room. So I try to make it as realistic as possible. But today I'm in a room here where we have acoustic foam or acoustic reflectors on the walls everywhere, and this room really almost has no echo. And in this room you really hear if the speakers, or in this room the speakers really shine or break. So for example with the Go+Play, it sounds very nice and very powerful in my room, even comparable to the JBL Phantom, which is 10 times almost the price when you listen on normal levels in my room. But in this room, if you compare the Phantom to the Go+Play, you really notice the massive difference between those two, because the Phantom still sounds great in this room, even better than my room, just because it has the power, while the Go+Play really sounds lost, as it, gains all of the power and bass kick only from the reflections in my room. And in this room you do not have any reflections. That's why the Go+Play sounds really weak against the JBL. Although on the other hand in my room they sound pretty comparable. So now I'm pretty excited how the Aiwa and the JBL Boombox will stack up in this room here. I will compare all of them after each other, and then we will see which one performed best here, and then you can also let me know which one you liked most. So now please put up your headphones, as this is a binaural microphone recording, and I'm also wearing my head cam to give you a kind of, live impression of how this room looks and how the speakers really sound in here, and enjoy the sound impression, the sound check, whatever. So let's start with the first track. I selected 3 tracks for each comparison. So I have one pretty, modern electronic track. It's called Extreme. I also used it for some previous tests. It's maybe not the most hi-fi track, but most people will also be interested in how the bass performance is. Then I have another rather, smooth pop or dance track. And then I will move on to a very, hi-fi rock or jazz track, which I also often listen to on this very big system here. No, this is not my system, but I also listen to this sometimes. And then I usually listen to this track, and it sounds pretty nice on here. So I thought, why not also try this on the very small portable speakers. So I will check out the JBL Boombox here. I will start with this one at about 55% volume, and let's start. could hear, both sounded quite nice, but for modern music again, I personally just prefer the JBL Boombox. It sounded more powerful, especially in this room. The Harman Kardon was losing some of its, I don't know, precision in the bass, while the JBL really sounded very powerful and very nice here. Again, treble is maybe a little bit too strong on the JBL, but due to the very little amount of reflection in this room here, the treble boost actually isn't too strong, but still it's very present, and I would have, I don't know, liked a bit smaller treble boost on the JBL. The treble on the Harman Kardon is just fine. Let's check out the pop track now, and I will start with the Harman Kardon, I think, and let's listen to this one. You don't have to wait until the world is over. Tell me how you feel. Why can't you take me closer? And in my opinion, this just sounds more powerful.
Take it to the moon, speed, speed racing. Ooh, I wanna take you there. Oh, you will fancy car, one week. I promise we can take it slow. Can I get a witness? You can testify. No need to mess around. Wanna be your lover.
Of course, you could argue about very small things like the treble boost on the JBL, but I think hands down the JBL just sounded better here. I mean, more precise, more kicking. Also, mids were pretty similar, although maybe a bit more natural on the Harman Kardon and a bit more pushed forward and a bit more direct sounding on the JBL here. In my room, or where I usually do my testings, I probably would prefer the Harman Kardon with this track, but here I definitely would choose the JBL. It just sounded a bit more kicking and especially more precise. But now let's check out the jazz track here. On iTunes it says rock. I also don't think that it's jazz, so it's something in between. Let's check out this track here. Let's match volumes again.
Little people on the sidewalks, running down the avenue, but sitting outside in cafes, we were looking for the muse, Well, I was locked in by the system, where no freedom is the rule. Now I spend all my time trying to make it understood. It once was my life. What everybody said. How the things I used to do. Yeah, the people that were friends. I've got to make it mean something. At the end of the day. It once was my life. They can't take that away.
So with this track, I again preferred the Harman Kardon, no matter in which room I'm listening. Again, the bass kicks were a bit more powerful sounding on the JBL and also a bit more precise. I just liked it more here. But mids and treble are just quite a bit better on the Harman Kardon here, just because it sounds more natural. So now let's maybe, I don't know, which speaker do we want to try next? Maybe let's check out the JBL against the Aiwa here, because those are, I think, more comparable. Also power-wise and size-wise. Both of them almost weigh 6 kilograms, so I think it should be quite a fair and good comparison. So, oh, I forgot to turn on the Aiwa, of course. And let's try out our first track again with a heavy bass. This already is the Aiwa. I just need to match volumes, and now we can already start with the JBL again here. so this was very, very short. I didn't switch that often. So let's maybe check out another modern track where you can also hear the difference, because this was just a bit too short to get a real impression. But with this track, I again preferred the JBL. The Aiwa sounded a bit too hollow, a bit too noisy for me. So let's check out this track here. I think now it's just time for a second version of the Aiwa Exos 9. You could hear the JBL is just tuned a bit better. I mean, the bass kick was more precise, more studio-like. The mids sounded more pushed forward. The Aiwa sounded slightly covered, although I boosted the treble at about 5 kHz. And also treble was, although a bit too boosted on the JBL, still nicer and clearer sounding on the JBL than on the Aiwa. Next, let's again check out the pop track here to see which one performs better.
You don't have to wait until the world is over. Tell me how you feel. Why can't you take me?
This just sounds more mature.
I could be the wind. I could take you higher. It's still so. Could I be your fire? I'll take it to the moonlight. Speed, speed racing. Ooh, I wanna take you there. Show you a fancy car. Ooh, I'm gonna pick up. I promise we can take it slow.
Yes, in my opinion, the JBL is just the winner here. I mean, the Aiwa, it just didn't sound right. The JBL sounds like it's tuned way more refined, just a bit better. Overall, in my opinion, the overall impression is just better. The only thing where the Aiwa would definitely win is max volume. It's just a little bit louder, also less compression, less bass reduction. So if you're looking for a good party speaker, the Aiwa probably is the better one. But for normal, for normal listening up to 70 or 80% volume, I would personally prefer the JBL. And now let's again check out the jazz track here. I don't know how to call it, jazz, rock. iTunes says rock, but let's check out the acoustic track. That's a good name. And let's start with the Aiwa here.
Little people on the sidewalks, running down the avenues, us sitting outside in cafes. We were looking for the muse. Well, I was locked in by the system. Well, no freedom is the rule. Now I spend all my time just trying to make it understood. It once was my life. Everybody said how the things I used to do. Yeah, the people that were friends, I've got to make it mean something. At the end of the day.
So yeah, the Aiwa definitely has some inconsistency in the treble and mid-range region. Although the JBL isn't a great speaker for acoustic music, it definitely outperformed the Aiwa here. I mean, you could hear treble and mids just sounded more mature, like a more expensive speaker, which it also is. But I didn't expect this big of a difference between those two. And as a last, comparison, I also wanted to show you how the JBL compares to the Harman Kardon on max volume. And let's check out those two now. Because many people think that the, Harman Kardon is very similar or equal to the JBL, just with, some slight feature differences. So for example, 2 charge out ports and a way bigger battery, and waterproofing with the JBL compared to 1 charge out port on the Harman Kardon, but it's actually not like this. There's also quite some sound difference. Of course, apart from the more natural sound on the Harman Kardon, the JBL also is quite a bit louder than the Harman Kardon. So let's maybe check out the pop track again here. And let's see which one performs better on very high volumes. Therefore, I will go back a little bit more so my microphones don't distort. And let's see which one performs better here. So I will start with the JBL Boombox playing on max volume. And let's check it out.
You don't have to wait until the world is over. Tell me how you feel. Why can't you take me closer? If I could be the wind, I could take you higher. Could I be your fire? I'll take you to the moon.
So this is it from this comparison. I hope you enjoyed it. I personally had a lot of fun recording this in this great room here. And I overall think that all of the speakers are a great choice. Depends on what you need. So let's start with the Harman Kardon here. The Harman Kardon still is a very great overall performer. I think it's great for every kind of music. It performs nice with acoustic stuff, but it also performs really nice with modern music. It has great bass, although of course it's lacking some of the features and it's not quite as loud as the JBL or even the Aiwa, but I think that this is quite okay for a price point of about $250. I mean, sometimes you can even find it under $200, and for this kind of money it's definitely a steal. Next we have the Aiwa Exos 9 here. Of course you can see it's the biggest and the oldest speaker here, goes for about, again, $300 or even less. And I think you shouldn't choose the speaker for, normal volume listening or for, critical music listening. Even when you listen to dubstep or something, there are definitely other choices like the Harman Kardon or the JBL, which will sound much better than the Aiwa normal levels. You could hear bass isn't quite as smooth and as powerful as the others. Also mids and trebles sound quite inconsistent. But if you are looking for a party speaker, which is very good for loud volumes, the Aiwa definitely is by far the best here. I mean, it definitely sounds the best on max volume. There's almost no compression, just pure sound on max volume. And it's also by far the loudest here, even much louder than the JBL Boombox. So it's definitely still remaining the, budget party king, but it's definitely not a speaker you should buy for critical music listening on volumes under 80%, because the JBL and the Harman Kardon just sound much better in this kind of area. And as the last speaker, we have the JBL Boombox here. Many people criticize the JBL Boombox, for the non-hi-fi sound, but I think this is quite okay. There are not only hi-fi geeks out there, there are also people out there which just want a great package, and the JBL definitely offers a great package if you have enough money to buy it. I mean, it has the biggest battery around, it has 2 charge out ports, it is fully waterproof, it's one of the loudest speakers in this size class. It's much louder than a, FIFA Oslo, and even louder than the FIFA Copenhagen, and it comes even close to the Aiwa. And it also sounds really nice on normal levels. I mean, it has very great bass kick. I think there is no other speaker under $600 which offers this, great bass. Maybe the Diamond Box Model M, but I didn't test this yet. But for now, I would say that the JBL definitely still is a very nice speaker. Again, if you have enough money, maybe you should wait some more weeks or some more month until the price drops to about $400. Then I would definitely say grab one if you can live with the fact that it is made for modern music. So I wouldn't recommend to listen to jazz music with either of those speakers, except maybe the Harman Kardon. but of course for modern music the JBL definitely rocks. I mean, anything from pop over dubstep to smooth house or normal house music, the JBL definitely, I think in my opinion, sounds the best from all of those here on normal levels. It has great deep bass. The only problem again is the treble boost at about 5 kHz, which you get in the indoor and outdoor mode. This is quite questionable because in the indoor mode you do not need a treble boost. Don't know why they did this, but if you can live with the fact of the, I don't know, quite harsh treble sometimes, the JBL again definitely is a really great speaker. I personally enjoyed it the most from all of those here. It just offers a great package, has great features and also great sound. You could hear it sounded quite a bit better than the Harman Kardon with the very, I don't know, bass heavy tracks, although again on the other hand the Harman Kardon sounded much better with the jazz tracks, much better treble resolution, nicer, more direct, clearer mids. And I also think that the JBL outperformed the Aiwa on normal levels. Doesn't matter with which track, it just performed better than the Aiwa for normal music listening. And again, if you want to go higher than 80% volume and you want to make a party and you're looking for a cheap party speaker, the Aiwa is the one for you. So I hope that I could, I don't know, help you to make a buying decision between those 3 very popular speakers right now. Again, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like or subscribe to the channel to see much more of this. Currently, I'm also trying to figure out how I can show you the very big hi-fi system you could see here. Those are some very expensive electronics with the Wilson Audio Alexia speakers. And I'm currently, I don't know, trying to find a way to get a CD which is non-copyrighted and then make a recording of the speaker system and then put it on YouTube, because I think I would be the very first person to present you this kind of big hi-fi system with good audio quality recorded with high quality microphones. So I hope I can figure this out. Until then, have a great time and bye bye.